Bridget Bartlett here with Visual Marketing and Design, and today we are live inside of our team training where we are live Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So today is actually part 2 of our training series on how to grow your audience on Twitter. Twitter is fastly growing. They are making a lot of changes. Elon Musk has taken over Twitter and he has big plans to revolutionize the way that Twitter is used. So if you are interested in Twitter, this is definitely the series for you. Okay, so yesterday we talked about basically an overview of Twitter, how to optimize your profile. Step 2 would be to actually create a list of people that you want to follow. Okay, now, how do you build followers on Twitter? It is actually engaging, especially when you first get started with your Twitter account. It's all about, and this is really true for any social media platform, okay? You need to first find the perfect people and then you need to start engaging with them. And it's actually more important to find the perfect people and start engaging than it is even to start generating content, because you need to engage enough for them to notice your profile. And of course, that's why yesterday's training is so important, because you need to make sure that you optimize your profile so that when they do see it, they actually know what you do and they can decide to follow you. So it's the basic same process as we talk about in Facebook, okay? So to get started here, first of all, this training is in your knowledge base. You can go to bridgetbartlett.com and register if you do not have access. Just look for the category Twitter Growth Strategies. That's where all of these trainings will be. Okay. Now you'll see here that I've outlined the steps for you. I'm going to show you a manual way to do this, and then I'm going to show you how you can use Tweet Hunter to automate a lot of this process and make it much faster and more simple. Okay. So if you need a free trial of Tweet Hunter, you can go to myvisionagency.com, Tweet Hunter, and create a free trial. Okay. Now, the first thing that we want to do is find relevant people or businesses in your niche with a large following. Okay. What we want to do is we want to actually follow their followers and then also follow those who they follow. Okay. Then we're going to create a list, and you want to keep this in mind. Okay. Now, if you go to my Twitter account, you will see that I do not have a lot of Twitter followers, okay? I am using myself as a case study in a public way to prove that this works, okay? So I'm definitely putting my reputation on the line here. But I have, over the last couple of weeks, I have probably spent 30 plus hours studying Twitter, studying all of the top influencers and trainers using Twitter, and I've combined all of their strategies and techniques to literally regurgitate this to you guys so that you can get started fast, and I've done all the work for you, right? So this is the basic algorithm, or the basic equation that you want to think about. Okay. Now, we do want to follow, of course, the people who have a lot of followers. Okay. That the very first thing we're going to do when we create this list, and we're going to talk about creating content and how to, simplify engagement and things like that tomorrow. But we need to first find these people. Okay. So about 10% of the people that we want to follow need to be people that are successful and have a large audience on Twitter. Because what we want to do is we want to make sure that we are engaging with them so that their followers, when they comment, they see our comment. And of course, our comment should be something of value to them that would pique their interest and make them want to check out our profile. Okay. So whether you're talking about Twitter or Instagram or Facebook or any other social media platform, this is the same process. Okay. Now, about 50% of your followers, you want to be around the 3,000 to 10,000 range. Okay. Now, we're being strategic about this because we want to make sure that, especially if you're just getting started, you need to have a good mix of people, right? Because obviously 3,000 to 10,000 followers, a business owner who has that amount of followers, they're definitely active on Twitter. Are more likely to maybe respond to you than these people here if you were to send them a DM. So it's kind of like the middle of the road here. Okay. And then there are, of course, the people who are less than 3,000 followers. Okay. So if you're an agency, this would be really valuable to you, right? Because you can help them grow their following. Maybe you specialize in Facebook. We have Facebook marketing tools. Maybe that you want to target them. Maybe you want to engage with them because they, having less followers, again, they're trying to grow their Twitter profile. That's why they have followers to begin with, and so they are more likely to be engaging back and forth, right? So you helping them, they help you, and everyone wins. Okay, so this is the basic strategy that we're going to look at today. Now, when you first go to Twitter, you can actually create a people that you want to follow. You can definitely use like your timeline here, or your feed. But this may be a mixture of different things. Like you can see, Gary Vee retweeted this tweet right here, which is definitely, a great doing retweets and things like that. That's a great way of getting traffic. But it's also mixed in with ads and different things. Okay, so if you go over to make a list, so let's just create a new list here. You'll see I've already created one that says engagement. Let's go ahead and create a new list, and I'm just going to say test, or actually we'll just do training. And when you make your list, you want to make it private, because if it's public, then everyone that you add to it, it's going to say that you added them to a list, and they may not like that. And we really don't want this to be public anyway. So we're just going to make this private. It's for our own personal use. Of course, you could add a description and the image here, but again, it's just for our own personal use, so we're not going to worry about that. Now that we've added the list, you'll see here that it's given us some suggestions of different people that we could add to the list if we want to, but we're not going to do that here. We're just going to keep it just empty, right? So the first thing we want to do is go look for the person or business owner that has let me just clear that out, that has the audience that you're looking for. Okay, now ClickFunnels is definitely a great audience if you are promoting high level. Okay, high level is better than ClickFunnels by miles. Most people know that, but you may not be promoting high level, right? So you definitely want to think, maybe you want to choose Tony Robbins. If people who are, into Tony Robbins, if that's your niche, that may be an audience that you want to check out. If you choose go high level and you're promoting high level, most of the people following high level are going to already be with high level. You may try Builderall. I don't even know if they have an audience on Twitter. You may try any of the tools that you use for your business. You may try, let's look for just the word agency. So maybe SaaSpreneur, maybe you want to check that out. Any of these things, right? So let's just go to ClickFunnels first, and let's just check this out. Okay, so you'll see when you go to ClickFunnels that there's two different categories here, right? Of course, there's their posts, which you can tell, who are engaged because they're commenting on their posts, right? So you could look through here and see which one has the most comments, and actually there's not really a lot of comments on their posts, which is kind of surprising, actually. So that's one thing. So let's see. So let's go back up here now to the following and followers. Okay, so following means that ClickFunnels themselves actually went and chose to follow the people here. Okay, so what does that tell you about ClickFunnels, the page? Okay, so there must be a reason that they're following these people. Now, Followers, these are people who just chose to follow them. Okay. So those are two very different groups of people. And we want to decide, who we want to follow. Okay. So let's first go and you can see all of the people that ClickFunnels, the company, is following. You could also choose, Russell Brunson if you wanted to choose his personal profile. But Grant Cardone, well, that would be, if that is a person in your niche, and I can't say this enough. A lot of times we think it's just like Facebook, right? So it's like, oh, we just want to send as many friend requests to anyone who will accept, and that'll be great. That's actually the opposite of the truth, okay? What we want to do is figure out who is going to be our perfect target customer, okay? Now, Grant Cardone would not be a perfect target customer for me because I'm sure that he has no interest in being a software reseller, even if he did respond to anything that I did, okay? But his audience may be interested. Okay. So again, this is something you want to consider. Maybe I want to follow Grant Cardone. Maybe I want to follow Tony Robbins. I don't know who this person is, but you can see here that he has he's following 109 people. So, and he has 121.8 thousand followers. So what this tells me is that he's very selective about who he follows, but he has a lot of followers. Okay. So I'm reading right here that he's the chief officer of AppSumo. So that makes sense. That would actually be a great person to follow for me. So I'm going to go ahead and choose follow. Now I want to see who is he actually following, right? So we have this person here, inventor of 2-hour lunch break, started 6 companies and failed. Okay, so he's following a lot, and then he has also a lot of followers. Okay, so you basically want to go through this list and you want to find at least 100 people that fit that criteria. But keep in mind, we're not just picking all of the top people, right? We also want to pick the people who have 3,000 or less than 10,000 followers, okay? So that is going to be found in the people who are the followers, okay? These are the people that are following this guy right here. Okay. So maybe again, if our niche is Grant Cardone and we want to go back here, if our niche follows Grant Cardone, let's go to his follower list and then we can start looking through here. Okay. Because what we're looking for is people who have less than 10,000 followers. So that would cut out this person here. That would cut out this person here. And you can see this could take quite a while, right? Because we're having to sort through all of these and just see, who has the correct amount of followers of the list we want to create. Okay. Now, when I choose to follow them, I could also choose, let's say I wanted to follow this person here. Okay, so I could click follow. But I could also go to the profile and then add them to the list. Okay, so I'm going to click here and then I can add to a list and I'm going to add to the training list. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and save that. Now, when I go back, after I've done all of this, I can go back into my training list and I will see his post right here. So now I know every day I need to come to this training list and I want to make sure that I'm engaging, right? Maybe I want to retweet, maybe I want to heart and comment. And when you're commenting, and again, we're going to talk more about this tomorrow, when you're commenting, if you think about what could I comment on this post that would bring value, not just, say in a different way what he has said, but I want to add value so that the people who do see his post and see my comment think, that's really interesting. I want to follow that person. It could be something that is like brings out emotion in some way. Maybe it's funny, sad. Maybe it makes them angry. Maybe it's a controversial comment. And when I say controversial, I don't mean being mean. We don't want to be internet trolls. That does nothing for the world. But maybe if he says, for example, tonight on Spaces, we dive into the U.S. debt ceiling. Okay. Well, that's pretty, you can come up with lots lots of controversial things to say about the US debt ceiling if this is a person in your niche. Okay. So it may be that it's great to be in debt. Maybe you want to say that. If you're a bank, then maybe that's a good thing. But if you say it's horrible to be in debt, it's like, these are the types of things that would be considered controversial, but not mean. We don't want to be trolls and internet bullies, okay? That is basically how you're going to build your list, all right? Now, like I said, this can take a while, all right? So what I like to use is Tweet Hunter. If you guys are not, if you have not signed up with Tweet Hunter, it is like the absolute monster when it comes to marketing on Twitter. Okay. There are a few companies that specialize in tools and automations for Twitter, and they all compare themselves to Tweet Hunter. Okay. It's really the best one. Like I said, there are many, but you can actually create a free trial here if you go to myvisionagency.com/tweet hunter. But this is going to really take a lot of the guesswork out for you. Okay. So you can go to first, there's many options. First, you can go to the people, and you can choose from your contact list. Okay, so to create a contact list, what you want to do is you want to go to contacts, and you can add people. Okay, so you can add people manually just by adding their Twitter handle or your list. Okay, so once you create your list here, if you wanted to take this list and you wanted to grab the URL up here of the list and go back to Twitter, you could actually paste this list in there and click add, and then it will upload all of the people in that list and add them here. Okay. You can add people from past interactions and tweets. You can add people who have interacted with one of your tweets in the last 7 to 30 days. You could import as well. You could also choose the people who just liked, replied, or tweeted, or all of the above, already messaged you in the last 7 to 30 days, or you could import. And this is really, really cool. You can actually import people from a specific tweet, and it doesn't have to even be yours, okay? And you can also specify if you want the people who liked it, replied, or retweeted. You could even choose all of those, okay? So once you have done that, you will see a list like this. Okay, so what's really cool about this is you can tell the location. Once you've imported, you can kind of start sorting, right? So you'll see here that you can actually sort by followers and following. Okay, so if I want to see all of the accounts that I have here that are the top accounts, you'll see I really don't have, if I'm staying within my criteria here, right, of 10% accounts with 10,000 or above followers, you can see that I only have 4 in this list that have above 10,000. And then I have all of these who kind of fall within the below 3,000 range. Okay, so what this tells me now is I need to make sure that I'm adding more people in this list that have more followers. Okay, now one way that I could do that, for example, is go to maybe this profile here, and I could go to the people who Russell Brunson is following, not followers, because if he's following them, likelihood that they have a large following is pretty good, right? So I could start following him, for example, and then I could also add him to my list, add or remove to the list. Okay, so then I would want to add him, or what I could do is just copy this here and go back to Tweet Hunter, and then I could add people and then just paste him in, and then now he is added to my list. Okay, so you'll see there's a preview of him. That is the correct account. I can go ahead and add. Now, I did say about the people who commented on a post. That's a great way if you have someone who has a really targeted audience or niche that is so close to exactly what you want to do. Like their audience is exactly the people that you want. Okay. You could go to, for example, their pin post, which usually has the most, right? So this guy was actually on Joe Rogan. So that's, that would explain he has lots of followers there. So what I could do is actually click on this post here. So I'm going to click on the date and I could take the URL from this post and I can go back to Tweet Hunter and I could just paste this here. And then now I could import all of the people who have engaged on that post. Okay, so that's a real quick, easy way to start building up your list. Okay, now tomorrow, like I said, we're going to talk about some really simple ways of engaging with the right people and the right ways and the wrong ways of doing it. And of course, I'm going to show you some real cool tips on how you can use Tweet Hunter to come up with daily inspiration, for example. You can see here that if you just absolutely have no idea what to say, they do give you a lot of examples. But what's really cool, let's say that I like this post. I could actually choose this post here, and then I could, of course, we don't want to copy any post, but we could just spin it. So improve. And then now we'll have the AI, it will rewrite the post for us. And then we could either add it to our queue or we could tweet. Okay. So that's one way of getting ideas for content. But also once we have done that, we can actually go to the people that we have that we've chosen in our list. So if I chose these people here, then I could actually engage with them and have AI answer or create replies for us. Okay. So it's going to put them in a list here. It may take just a second to load because I just did some editing to it. But it will allow us to do that. So we'll talk more about that tomorrow. So thank you all so much for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Go make your vision a reality. Bye. Thank you so much for joining us for today's training. If you have any questions, you can join us for open office hours starting right now at bridgetbartlett.com. It's free and open to everyone, so I'll see you there.